Greetings, Star Wars and LEGO fans. Here we have it, the Ultimate Collector Series Imperial Star Destroyer, kit number 75252 at a whopping 4,784 pieces. This is among the largest LEGO kits that's ever been released, and the second largest Star Wars kit, if I'm not mistaken. And this is also among the most expensive LEGO kits that LEGO has released, which is a little surprising given that it's nowhere even close to the piece count of the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. From what I've been able to find online, that comes from having a lot of very large pieces in this set, which apparently cost a lot more produced than the little pieces we typically find. And this one also, despite its size, this is like a really huge kit. It comes in at 109 centimeters or 43 centimeters long. That's actually wider than my dining room table. But it has no interior scenes, which I find to be a little disappointing. But, I mean, it could very well make up for it, and its sheer size and grandeur, and the exterior detail looks really nice. And the only thing to do now is to build it and see how it goes. So, let's have a look at what sounds in the box. So here we have it, the Imperial Star Destroyer Devastator. The same ship Vader used to chase down Princess Leia as she was escaping with the plans for the Death Star. The first and most obvious thing I have to say about this kit is it's huge. I mean, it's just massive. I knew this ahead of time, but now that I see it in front of me, I'm gonna have to rethink how I'm gonna display this one. But one thing's for sure, this kit will make a great display piece. It has a commanding presence in the room that just draws your attention in, and the closer you get, the more fun it is to look at all the little details. Starting on the bottom, flanked by 2 Imperial officers, we have the classic UFC plaque, which has a bunch of specs about the ship. And a little ahead of that, we have the docking base, which has this little out-of-scale TIE fighter hanging about. But the scale doesn't bother me, because I think it looks good here, and LEGO simply doesn't make bricks small enough to make it to scale one. Moving on up to the front, staring down the nose of what was briefly Vader's flagship, we find the Tantive 5, Leia's ship, in close proximity. While this one's also a little bit large to be to scale, I honestly don't think you could make it any smaller and still remain true to the original form of the ship. So, like the TIE fighter, I think this one looks pretty great the way it is. And moving a little further down the side of the ship, we have the main artillery. 1 quad laser mounted on the side that can be angled up or down, and the 4 other cannons on the dorsal side mounted a little further back. Coming on up to the top, we have the highly recognizable diamond-esque shape of the bridge, with the large sensor array and twin shield generators mounted on top, which is all being supported by this huge neck down the back of the ship. Which leads us down to my favorite part, the engines. Just like in the movie, I find this to be very impressive, and I have definitely spent more time admiring this view of the ship than any other, because I think it just looks awesome. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this kit doesn't have any interior scenes, which I'm most definitely disappointed in. But it does have these little panels that open up on top, revealing a handle, making it a little bit easier to carry this around. Because to be honest, the sheer size and odd shape of this makes it not very sturdy. You can only grab it or pick it up from specific locations, and you have to be quite careful moving it around. It goes without saying that this one was definitely made for display and not to be played with. And then we come to the minifigures, which honestly I find to be quite disappointing. For a kit this expensive, I would have liked to have something a little more interesting. But instead we get an Imperial officer and an Imperial crew member, 2 very generic minifigures that I'm sure exist in lots of other sets. I think this should have come with something a little more exclusive, something you would have only gotten in this kit. Being so expensive, that should have been a little more special. And that about covers it, which leaves me with a bit of a mixed feeling about this kit. It's huge, it looks great, and I'm going to love having it on display when I eventually figure out where to put it. But you don't get a lot of pieces for the money, and sure enough, there are a lot of these large plates, which LEGO says accounts for the high price, but no interior scenes I think is a bit of a downfall, and the very generic minifigures that come with this kit. I feel that, even if it would have raised the price of the kit a bit, LEGO should have definitely made some interior scenes and included some more interesting minifigures. If you're a die-hard LEGO fan and are looking for that awesome display piece to add to your collection, even at this price, this kit will not disappoint you. On the other hand, if your ultimate endgame is to take this one apart and reuse it for something else, with the price per part being so high, I think you'd be better off with literally pretty much any other kit. And that about wraps it up for the review of this gargantuan kit. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you back here next week for the next review.